Hi lovelies, and welcome back to another TikTok video. If you are new here, my name is Belinda Stronard and here is Ballistic Gist. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Alright lovelies, let's get into the video. So guys, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok and I found it super interesting. Do you know this man that actually, forced affirmative action to be removed? He has gone ahead to seal funds that support black or black-owned businesses, like guys, and he called it Ray and says, guys, I'm just gonna roll the clip as well as the stitches I was able to put together. Why not just leave me your own thought in the comment section after the video, and do not forget that this channel does not support any form of bullying, harassment or whatsoever. We just here for educational and informative purposes, guys. I'll be rolling the clip. Please leave your thoughts and let's get into it.
Back in February, I made a couple of videos telling everybody to keep their eyes open because I could see the signs of history repeating itself, and that what happened during Reconstruction that ultimately wiped out Black progress, I could see that it was starting to happen again. Edward Bloom, the man who took down affirmative action, is now suing venture capital funds that were created with a specific focus to invest in Black women entrepreneurs. And with this move, Edward has loudly declared war against Black progress. Some of you may know that I am a tech founder and I have an AI-empowered tech platform of which I have to pitch to investors and of which I have experienced this. And I've shared some of those stories with y'all on this platform. I've pitched to investors and then a couple of months later, I see my idea, bits and pieces of my product and somebody else's product who they've invested in. A lot of people will comment in my comments and say, stop going to them, invest in each other, which is what we were trying to do or are trying to do. But anytime Black people try to do for Black people, this happens, just like they did after Reconstruction. And they took all the money in the Freedmen Bank and they used that money to invest in their businesses and left our ancestors with nothing. And just like with affirmative action, Edward Bloom is using Asian Americans to do it and saying that Asian Americans are mad because they cannot apply to a pitch competition that awards $20,000 grants to Black women small businesses. Now, I highly doubt that Asian Americans are lacking in any type of support in the United States when it comes to venture capital or grants. I highly doubt Black Americans are standing outside AIM and protesting that Black Americans cannot participate in the AIM project. But what I also find funny is that this group of people are always crying discrimination when it comes to Black people trying to do for Black people and trying to progress for Black people. But the Daughters of the Confederacy is very explicit about what type of person can join their group. I guess they think that we can't read between the lines. And when you have to bring up somebody's bloodline for eligibility, we all know that means white and Southern. And the crazy thing is, you go out to Arlen Hamilton, who had to live in a homeless shelter for 3 years as she built up her VC fund because Silicon Valley would not invest in her because she wanted to invest in Black founders who were already receiving less than 1% of venture capital funding. And there's going to be somebody in my comments that's going to say it's hard for white people to get funding too. Yes, it is. Think about that. It is hard for a white entrepreneur to even get VC capital funding. Think about that. It's even harder for a person of color to get it. Especially when that wealth, the men at the top are old and dusty white men who are holding the majority of the wealth in the world, who do not want to invest in people of color. Old white men who are used to getting their wealth by stealing ideas from people of color, from Black people, and slapping their names on it. Now, I told y'all one time an investor told me that I needed to quit for the simple fact that I was Black and that my network was Black and that Black people wouldn't understand what I was doing and that Black people wouldn't support me. Another investor came to me and apologized in 2020 because he blatantly told me that when a pitch deck of a Black founder came across their desk, they would slide it, they wouldn't open it, and they wouldn't even read it. Because to them, Black investors were unproven and too high risk. When I talk about that law review that TikTok held under review, most patent lawyers had never heard of it. And most Southern patent lawyers didn't even think that a black entrepreneur in those times even existed. They didn't even think it was a possibility. And some of them still carry that same mindset. It is hard as hell in the South for a black person to get funding for their business, specifically in tech. Now, y'all tell us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. But then you get mad and jealous at the strength behind those bootstraps, and then you go and try to cut them because you can't play fair.
Definitely be dropping juice, but I just got a question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be asking, like, how were we able to get in these spaces in a time when all this hate was supposed to be so prevalent? The black people was even scared to step up and say that they invented inventions. How is this man able to actually be the one patenting it? You see what I'm saying? So I be wanting to make it make sense. And you got to understand that somebody is funding all of that. This man left, went here, there, went to Harvard. And most people that you do hear about were privileged. And if it was a world of so much hate, how did they gain so much privilege?
That is a very great question, and I actually have an answer for you. And it's actually what I've been trying to share on my page for the last couple of days, but it keeps getting suppressed. So I'm going to say this real quick before I get into the information. The heating system needs to be y'all. If y'all want this information to get out, you got to hit the share button. You got to comment and like. You got to duet, stitch, do whatever, because this platform, your interest is not in their best intent. Okay? Now, it all goes back to what they call the forgotten era in the original black elite in Washington, D.C. and up north. I encourage every last one of you to download this book. You can get it on Scribe, Amazon, Kindle. The book basically talks about the progress that black people made immediately after emancipation, within the first 40 years of emancipation. Now, I cannot find the actual quote. I'm going to keep looking for it. But it's on record where white Southern politicians went to the U.S. government and basically said, black people have made too much progress and we need to slow them down. And so they enacted Jim Crow laws. And they were not called Jim Crow laws at the beginning. They basically called it reconciliation. And it was a period of backsliding. After emancipation, black people and white people were trying to learn how to come along and get along together. They were working together. Black people were working in the government. Hence the reason Henry E. Baker was allowed to get inside the patent office and record all those patents. It was before the reconciliation and before Jim Crow laws. Now, it took a decade to catch up to Washington, to the black people in Washington, to the black elite. They were not experiencing the segregation and all of the lynchings and all of that. It was, to the black elite, it was an anomaly if it happened to them. It was happening down south. And then it took a decade for it to reach Washington. The United States participated in what they call the reconciliation period. At first, they said they were going to stay out of it, but then they started enforcing the laws. And all of the progress that black Americans had made was burnt down, destroyed, or hidden. I told y'all Daniel worked for the Library of Congress, and he put together an encyclopedia for future generations. He gifted that to the Library of Congress. And like I said, this move is a loud declaration of war against black progress.
Hi everyone, this is not a fire drill. This is something that we all need to be paying attention to. I have been following this gentleman for a long time, Edward Bloom. He is the person that has been bringing affirmative action cases to the Supreme Court for many years. He's filed dozens of cases. He, a couple of days ago, filed another case against our friends at the Fearless Fund. If you know them, you know that they've been doing good work to invest in black women businesses specifically, something that is needed. If you look at the statistics, black women receive less than 1% of venture capital dollars that are available. The plan, though, here, right, and this is, again, the reason why we all need to be paying attention, is that Edward is moving from challenges that are based on education to now talking about capital. And I guarantee you that the plan is to start talking about employment in the future. We need to be paying attention. If there's any time for us to rally together as a community, it is to do so now. This case is not just about the Fearless Fund. It is about the way that our organizations are funded and how we have been approaching diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts broadly. So please research what's happening here, but know that we are about to get very engaged because what they're attempting to do here, this is a 50-year plus plan at work, and we've got to get involved in making sure that they are not successful in these efforts. So stay tuned for more, but wanted to bring this to the community's attention as soon as I could.
Have you guys heard of this lawsuit? The activist who recently took affirmative action to the Supreme Court is also filing a lawsuit against these black women. Let's get into this. Fearless Fund, an Atlanta-based venture capital firm that invests in women of color, has been sued for alleged racial discrimination by a group affiliated with the conservative activists at the center of litigation that led in June to the U.S. Supreme Court striking down affirmative action. In the lawsuit filed on Wednesday, Atlanta Federal Court, the American Alliance for Equal Rights alleges that a program awarding $20,000 small business grants to black women violates the Civil Rights Act of 1866. The complaint has said the conservative group has members who are being excluded from the program because they are the wrong race. AAER bills itself as a nonprofit membership-based organization challenging distinctions and preferences based on race and ethnicity. The Fearless Fund was founded in 2019 by 3 black women, entrepreneur Ariane Simone, organizational consultant Ayanna Parsons, and actress Keisha Knight-Pulliam. Fearless Fund did not immediately respond to requests for comment on the lawsuit. But in an afternoon post on Instagram, Fearless Fund said, "We are fearless, we are black women, we are descendants of slaves, we represent women of color, we are in a position to provide economic opportunity and freedom to women of color and will continue to do that work." Venture capital funding for black-owned startups is a fraction of what is invested in tech firms started by white founders. The disparity is especially true for businesses founded by black women. Between 2009 and 2017, only 0.0006% of venture capital funding went to businesses started by black women. So, Fearless Fund aims to bridge that gap. In 2021, record levels of funding for Latina and black women improved things slightly. Their combined share of venture capital rose above 1% for the first time, according to the 2022 project. Fearless Fund has raised more than $25 million and invested in more than 40 companies in the past 4 years. This is what black women can do when we organize. That is a small drop in the bucket, though. VC funding nationally, which totaled $70 billion in 2023, and this is 2023, not including certain corporate investments, according to Crunchbase, less than 1% of that sum has gone to black funded companies. That's why it's just so funny, and by that I mean it's not funny, that they are targeting when women go after or support other black women. You guys jump in the comments. Tell me what you think. Like, comment, share.
Biggest king baby, little Eddie. He got affirmative action removed from the college admissions process, and now he's going after small venture capitalist funds that provide small business grants to black people. The Fearless Fund provides small business grants to black women. It's a competition fund, but he couldn't compete. So, of course, in true fashion, he changes the rules and destroys that bridge to generational wealth. Just completely obliterated. People minding their own business. Imagine being in a field and seeing a need for a special population. People from your own community not having a pathway to opportunities like this. And so you made it, you went through it, you saw a lot. So you come, you gather some money to give that opportunity to people coming behind you. You're reaching back to full forward. But he's making sure that reach back does not happen unless everyone can benefit from that.
I haven't seen enough people talking about this news that the conservative activist Edward Bloom, who was responsible for the dismantling of affirmative action in colleges, he has now filed a lawsuit against a venture capital firm that happens to be in Atlanta. They're going after the Fearless Fund, which was founded by actress Keisha Knight-Pulliam and other prominent black women. Fearless Funds provides grants and digital resources in the amount of $20,000 to black women founders. This is part of why this feels so petty and wrong, because as we all know, black women receive statistically about 0% of VC funding. And that momentary uptick in funding for black entrepreneurs that we saw during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement has now plummeted. This is an example of the type of test cases we're going to see going after private organizations that want to help underserved groups. Unbelievable.
We told y'all this was just the beginning. One of the conservative activists behind the U.S. Supreme Court decision for affirmative action has now decided to sue a VC firm that is supporting Black women business owners. The suit was filed in Atlanta against the Fearless Fund. The fund has a Fearlessly Strivers grant competition that provides between $10,000 to $20,000 to Black female entrepreneurs to help scale their business. The suit alleges that the Fearless Fund is practicing unlawful racial discrimination, Section 1981 of the Civil Rights Act of 1866. This is a U.S. law barring racial biases in private contracts. And because the fund is only available to Black women, this is where they claim the discrimination lies. I will never not be amazed at how people take things, safeguards that were created for Black people, for marginalized and disenfranchised communities, and try to weaponize those same laws against us. Y'all are
Like,
evil.
seriously, lovelies, these people just keep amusing me. Like, I don't understand what is actually going on. So this Fearless Fund is a fund owned by, like 3 women. They own this fund just to put them to support especially Black women, because a lot of Black owned businesses is suffering or because of fraud. Like, even when they go to these banks to maybe get a loan for their businesses and all of that, the kind of percentage was given, and that is if they have the opportunity to be given those loans, is just something out of it. Like, these people don't want anything good to come to the Black community. The Fearless Fund decided to create these opportunities for hard-working women, hard-working queens. And this man, after trying or after doing whatever he did with affirmative action, he decided to face his energy or focus his energy on Fearless Fund. Like, you are suing those people based on, okay, they are being discriminatory, but you didn't give these people any chance not to do whatever they want to do. These women are tired of begging, looking for support from you people in terms of maybe loaning them money or whatsoever, just as to stand Black businesses. But you guys become so adamant and you just focus on helping your own fellow. Then this group of women decided to come together to help their own. Then you find it offensive, trying to say that, oh my goodness, this is based on that they are being racist. Like, what are you saying? What are you saying? Why is it that these people have a problem where they see there's a progress coming from the people of color? Like, these people are trying. We're actually trying to create our own wealth. These people that have been stripped off from everything, like everything, and they're trying to start from a scratch. And by the help of God, some individual who has made it to the top have decided to come together and to fix something so as to push their fellow up as well. Then you found this so not nice and you decided to pull this down. Like, seriously, these particular people have been so oppressed. They've been oppressed and they've been begging and asking for reparations and all of that, and no one heard their voices. No one want to do anything. No one even care. And they decided to put up something for themselves, try to create wealth for themselves, and you decide that this is now based on race. Like, I say whatever you guys have been doing since is not based on race. I say when this particular woman goes to the bank or any institution or any financial institution requesting for a loan to start up a small business just to stand on their own, that you guys are going to approve it. Like, these people practically do everything on their own right from scratch, right from the beginning. Do you know how they have struggled to put up this kind of organization? Do you know what they have passed through to put up this kind of organization? Or because they want to help the people of their own community, that you decided that this is actually a problem to you. Meanwhile, you have been looking for every means to try to pull these people down. The more they struggle to come out there, You look for every means to pull them down. Like, how is this so nice? How do you actually sleep at night? Is it not enough already? Is it not enough that they have been stripped out or stripped of so many things, right from their ancestors? And like, seriously, people that is trying to build their own, they are trying to come out, they are trying to, survive, they are trying to earn means, and you are trying, or you are bent on suppressing these people, and you feel that you are okay, you are gonna sleep peacefully. Like, what is this?
Told y'all this was
What is
just
this?
the beginning. One of the
What
conservative
is this?
activists
No one is
behind the
actually
US Supreme
stopping you.
Court
You
decision
have
on
been
affirmative
creating
action
yours.
has now
You have
decided
made
to
a platform.
sue a
You have been
VC
creating
firm that
yours.
is
You have
supporting
talked
black
about
women business
affirmative
owners.
action. You have
Filed in
now.
Atlanta against the Fearless
Why don't you
Fund.
just leave them
Fund has a
alone
Fearlessly Shrivers
so that they can
grant
struggle in
competition
peace
that
on their
provides
own
between
without
$10,000 to
any
$20,000 to
form
black female
of
entrepreneurs who
dragons
scale their
and all
business.
of that?
The suit
Like,
alleges that the
why
Fearless
are
Fund
they
is
like
practicing
this?
unlawful
Why
racial
are they like this?
discrimination,
I saw a
Section
video which I also
1981 of the
posted
Civil
about a
Rights Act
woman,
of 1866,
trying
the
to
US law
appropriate
barring racial
or trying to
biases in private
claim
contracts. And
someone's
because the
music,
fund
a
is
black
only
artist's
available
music,
to black
and
women,
that,
this is where they
like,
claim the discrimination
why
lies.
are
I
they
will never
bent
not be
on
amazed at how
suppressing people of
take
color?
things,
Why?
safeguards that were created
You
for
guys
black people,
practically
for
strip these
marginalized
people
and
of
disenfranchised
generational wealth, and they're trying to
weaponize
create
those same laws
theirs,
against us.
and you have a problem with that, guys. Anyways, why not just leave me your thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Leave me your own thought of what you think, and do not forget that this channel does not support any form of bullying, harassment whatsoever. We're just here for educational and informative purposes, guys. If you've not subscribed up to this extent, please do your girl a huge favor to subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support. To those people that shared my videos, leave commentary. To my newest subscribers, thank you so much for all the love and support, and I will see you lovelies when I upload my next video.